training gloves, obviously a reference to what he wants around his waist. The blonde hair, ode to the Aikichi Yazawa song, Painted Black. This time, it's in reference to
Nasakawa is super dimensions every time he comes out. This is a guy fairly new to boxing. This is only his 8th pro bout. Has a high starting point, obviously, but has improved every time. New tools to his toolbox every time out.
Tension trying to step in with the left hand. For Inaway, plainly, is just focus. He admitted that in that Satsumi fight, that his different places. As I referenced, he considered retirement afterwards, but with the magnitude of this fight, with all the attention surrounding it, if Inaway can't be...
You're not inside, he said that night, as Tension lands the left hand and tries to land another one. But the Tsutsumi fight turned when Tsutsumi at some point, look at that crisp, straight right hand from Inaway, when Tsutsumi came forward and cranked up the punch volume, and he changed gears, and Inaway could not go with him.
To belong to Tension. Step in left hook there from Inaway. A right hand, and in a quiet round like this, oh, big left hand might have erased those memories in the judges' minds. Immediately, what a shot from Tension, and he is jacked up.
The new things that Tension showed us every time out. We have not seen that type of overhand left from him before. Usually, we're used to him throwing it straight.
As what was rough before has become rounded. He smoothed out some of those edges. And as rough as Inaway wants to make this fight right now, it's the smoothness of Tension that is winning.
Coming into this fight, what I didn't know was how Tension would deal with it and land that left hook as a lead, as a counter. The ability to land that right hand to the body. What we're seeing so far is
big right hook there from Tension. That one knocked Inaway on his heels.
That's what we're seeing so far. The speed, power, accuracy.
Even this is not unfamiliar territory. That's something we've seen out of him. We saw it in that win over Sho Ishida, where there are tough moments and there's a noticeable pushing of the button,
yes,
where Inaway turns on. Another nice sharp left hand there from Tension, which looked wide on the scorecards, but there was that moment where Inaway, the question is, can he get out of some of this early danger to make that so in our main event?
Can he make this a dogfight, and can he hit Tension Nasakawa hard enough to make Tension Nasakawa think twice about all these things he's doing? Because the reality is that neither of these guys has a ton of knockouts on the record. And so we don't know if either of them has the one-punch power to...
This left hand. And Nasakawa aiming that at the body. Inaway kind of ducked into it and lands nonetheless. Seconds tick away, and another excellent...
Is Nasakawa taking 2, 3, 4 shuffle steps in. And again, the footwork is so precise. And he unleashed the first time with that uppercut in the right hook.
For the WBC World Bantamweight title here tonight against Takuma Inaway, a name and a family that has kind of moved over Tension and all fighters anywhere in this weight neighborhood in this country for a long time. Nasakawa, one of the few stars in Japan that can match the wattage of the brother. We talked about Nasakawa jumping right into the deep end, but he's been insistent, you know, in his words, he said, I have my skills. Whether he skipped grades or not, he definitely skipped all the classes in 8th.
Corey, when I went to high school, we took Spanish class, and there were some kids. There's a girl in the class from Argentina, and she came in, she walked in speaking better Spanish than any of us. Did she skip grades? No, she walked in, started at a very high skill level, and this is what Tension Nasakawa is doing. As we've discussed in past fights, he is
hand to the body.
He is development. He is a martial artist at heart. This is his latest martial. And one thing we noticed,
step in left hook there.
He's going to be first. and he's had more success this round.
The left hook connects there from Inaway, places the right hand to the body. Nasakawa that is looking confident. His footwork is gliding. Isn't space to let this fight slip away. Inaway picking up the pace here in the third.
Completely different demeanor from Inaway this round.
Round 4 now underway. There's a through line to be drawn here between a fight we called earlier this year as Inaway lands a blistering right hand over the top. Of course, Tenshin has long been rivals with Yoshiki Takei.
Yep.
They've been kickboxing parallels. There's been fights rumored between the two of them. When he fought Christian Medina, not that long ago,
yes,
there was a moment when Medina decided this isn't good for Takei.
Yep.
Is that potentially a blueprint for Inaway here tonight?
Could look different from rounds 1 and 2. And Tenshin and Takuma Inaway has decided he's going to make early in the round. Tenshin Nasakawa try to sneak that lead hand uppercut in. And you saw Takuma Inaway saw it coming, and he blocked it.
To end after that loss to Seiya Satsumi, despite the thoughts about it that he had. Chopping left hand there from Tenshin. As Inaway continues to pick up the tempo and dare Nasakawa to match it.
Seeing too that difference between speed and tempo, speed and rhythm. Clearly has the superior speed. Takuma Inaway cannot match.
Tremendous amount of head movement in his game, and that's not shocking coming from.
Again.
Hard right hand, that's 3 in a row.
Yes.
And 2 uppercuts with the right hand. Tenshin with no answer for the right hand of Inaway here in this round.
For all of Tenshin's speed, Inaway is starting to get the timing. He got underneath that.
MMA to boxing, that is unique, but Takuma Inaway is very familiar with the position that Tenshin is in as the guy who's young in his career, but fans are asking for world title shots. When Inaway was just 2 fights into his pro career, the Japanese media started talking about the potential of him becoming the fastest world champion ever, of breaking Sunset Mansour's record. But what he found out is something that Tenshin
adjust 1 or 2 or 3 times in a fight the way you have to at the world-class level, because people, as we're seeing right now from Inaway, catch on so quickly to Inaway. He lands the right hand once, he can land it twice, he can land it 3 times.
There it is, there's that right hand again, and maybe that right hand contrasted with the more free-flowing athletic approach, and Inaway back he comes with that right hand over the top, and that'll be
attention. Nasakawa noticing it, and next thing you know, he's set up there, he's landing punches. When Nasakawa is the one with the longer arms, Nasakawa would prefer to keep this at a range where he can land and Inaway can't.
Step in left hand there from Inaway, and another pair of right hands, one up top. A reminder that at the end of this round, we will get an update on the WBC's open scoring.
Yes.
Active with that lead hand this round.
And Akuma chant.
I think we've got some dueling chants here right now. Nasakawa, but back comes Inaway.
Yeah, and that's the other thing we're noticing.
Work on the inside from Inaway.
Is that that's sort of one of the themes.
Inaway looking to become world champion again. And perhaps a little continuity on the night. He also regained a world title in his 23rd professional fight when he defeated Hee Young Choi back in 1992. Inaway maybe trying to bait Tenshin in here.
Yes.
Indeed he was. That was. So back to action here. We're just getting word, the translation of the open scoring for you. 76-76 on one card. On the other 2 cards, 76. where both fighters explicitly understand the desperation of the situation, where they're at.
Tension leans forward at the waist and catches a right hand to the forehead.
Too quick. High drama here in Tokyo. From what we know about the scorecards at the end of round 8, this is still a winnable fight for either man on the scorecards. And both
to Takuma Inoue's, his ability, his ring IQ, his ability to adjust on the fly.
A situation where he doesn't need to be more fluid. This is about getting rigid, biting down, and just trying to outman Takuma Inoue in these final 3 rounds.
Because he has to have tests, putting that into use in real time against a guy as good as Takuma Inoue is something different. Not as composed as Takuma Inoue is.
Counter there from Tension. Round 11. And if Shingo was worried about if and when Takuma would flip that switch that we referenced, that hasn't been a concern here tonight. He hit it early, and it is certainly on right now, and this fight is on in the center of the ring.
And Corey, it's not, these fights are not carbon copies of each other at all, but sort of what it reminds me of is Prince Nassim Hamed versus Marco Antonio Barrera back in the day, in the sense that you had one guy that's super creative and he throws these punches that no one's ever seen before. And you have another guy that has such a firm grasp of the basics and the fundamentals, and he imposes that and works from there. And Nasakawa, so you see Nasakawa gesturing, clowning, well, not clowning, but gesturing and trying to sort of play off the fact that he's getting the worst end of most of these exchanges. Because while he's gesturing, Takuma Inoue is still not only landing punches, but dictating the tempo and the distance that this fight is taking place at.
Losing is not a familiar feeling for Tenshin Nasakawa, who didn't lose as a pro kickboxer, has not lost as a pro boxer. The losses for Tenshin happened way back in amateur kickboxing, and of course in that exhibition against Floyd Mayweather. In any other circumstance, Tenshin has always found a way to win. And he may be in a situation now, and there's good reason to believe, from what we know about the scorecards at the end of round 8, that he has 4 minutes to figure out a way to not lose here tonight.
Yeah, and you saw Tenshin for about 15 seconds switch orthodox, which might be a sign of frustration. A sign that he's not sure what will work, so he's trying to see what might work. He's right there, those left hands. Inoue seeing them now, he's blocking them. Rounds 1 and 2, those left hands were landing.
Stumble there from Inaway, but he makes the most of it with his back against the ropes.
Yeah, and you saw
solid right hands.
You saw him before he landed those 2 right hands. He got underneath of Nasakawa's left hand. And if you're Nasakawa, that has to be really frustrating. Because every fight up until now, the person has been there on the receiving end of that left hand.
Earlier this week, Takuma Inoue said, "I want to enjoy every minute of this fight." And when you talk about demeanors in this fight, in the first 2 rounds, it was Tenshin who was looking playful, looking confident. Those roles have reversed.
Yes. Well, one of the things that Sei Tatsumi did against Takuma Inoue that Tenshin Nasakawa has not been able to do is just come forward, close the distance, crank up the volume. That's not the type of fighter Tenshin Nasakawa is, and it's one of the reasons he's not been able to regain the initiative in this fight.
The tight, solid, technically proficient approach.
Yes.
Has not given Nasakawa the openings that he hoped to create, or he hoped would present themselves. Inaway lands another right hand to the body. Back comes Nasakawa with some body work of his own. Nasakawa taking a peek up at the clock, which is his worst enemy at the moment.
Right, and for reasons we've discussed before, because Nasakawa, neither of these guys is a one-punch knockout guy. And as the fight continues and this lead sort of accrues, this lead on the scorecard accrues for Takuma Inaway, Tenshin Nasakawa's in a bind because he's not Mikito Nakano. He cannot depend on one punch to get himself back in the fight, give himself a 10-8 round.
Now it's Inaway showing a little bravado, just inviting Nasakawa to come get him in the corner. Less than a minute remaining in this contest.
And there you see Corey in a high leverage moment. Tenshin Nasakawa is trying to unleash these video game punches, but again, against the guy with Takuma Inoue's ring IQ and the confidence he's showing right now. There's nothing those video game punches can do except put him in a position to eat those straight right hands.
Look at these combinations from Takuma Inoue, who spent a lot of time in his brother's shadow, but tonight